And happening now, those new claims that the automatic spending cuts our nation just got hit with, the so-called sequester, haven't lived up to the apocalyptic warnings we have heard so much about. Here's what Kimberly Strassel writes in the Wall Street Journal. The phrase jumping the shark describes that gimmicky moment when something once considered significant is exposed as ludicrous. This is the week the White House jumped the sequester. The precise moment came Tuesday when the administration announced that it was canceling public tours of the White House, blaming budget cuts. Here to talk more about it, Senator Scott Brown, former Massachusetts senator and a Fox News contributor. You voted for the sequester when you were in the Senate. Did you ever think it would come to pass?
Absolutely not. But remember, it was the president's idea, and then the leaders, both Reid and McConnell, told all the members, hey, listen, we're going to put up this select committee. We're not going to get into these draconian cuts. It'll never, ever happen. Well, guess what? That committee failed. They didn't do another one or another one, and here we are a year and a half later.
And here we are with the White House closed to school kids because the administration can't find a better way to save a couple of bucks.
Listen, bottom line is the Republicans have offered, and it makes common sense that the president should have what's called transfer authority, the ability to get in there, kind of reopen and tweak the sequester in a whole and actually delegate and do thoughtful, judicious, methodical cuts, for example, in the military. They need that. Give it to Hagel. Let him go in with a fine-tooth comb and actually, with a scalpel, I should say, and actually get in there and make the cuts that you need to make.
So in the meantime, we have learned that we have 3 White House calligraphers on staff.
Yeah, you could go on and on and on.
Almost $300,000 a year, but we can't keep the White House open for tours.
Listen, it's like pigs at a trough. The more money you're going to give the people in Washington, the more money they're going to spend, bottom line. Remember, the senators or state congressmen, they do not get part of this cut. Their staff members do, but they don't get anything cut. So there's no skin in the game. And the president does not want this authority because he wants to make the Republicans look bad. Everybody knows it, and it's time to show real leadership.
Well, we hired this man, Barack Obama, as an administrator.
Yeah, to make the tough choices.
Right, to do the tough work of government.
Right.
Is he not going to do that?
He could have that authority. They're willing to give it to him. He does not want it. He needs to take that authority, delegate, and for example, Harry Reid should delegate to the committee chairs and the ranking members. Hey, we have to cut $1.2 trillion, folks. Time to do your jobs. We're not going home for a month. If you finish early, we'll go home. We're not going to take breaks. We're not getting weekends off. We got to find a way to cut it because we can't continue.
There has been the suggestion that President Obama wants to embarrass Republicans in part because he hopes to win back the House in 2014.
Yeah, well, that's not a suggestion. That's if you asked any of the governors that were at the recent governors conference and you asked about the private meeting, Mr. President, why don't you want the ability to do the transfer authority? Well, it's because they want it to be on you guys.
All right. So, but there is also the Senate to consider. I mean, right now the Senate has a pretty comfortable majority of Democrats, but a number of Democrats are retiring this time around. We have a look at some of them we can put on the screen.
And Durbin, Rockefeller, probably, and Johnson.
Right. These are 4 who have announced that they are retiring: Carl Levin, Jay Rockefeller, Frank Lautenberg, and Tom Harkin. And then there are a couple of more who are considered likely potential retirements. Tim Johnson of South Dakota, Dick Durbin of Illinois. What are is there really any prospect for Republicans to win back the Senate, do you think?
Of course. Listen, there's always a possibility. Look at me. I'm a Republican from Massachusetts, was able to win. It was a presidential year, so I didn't fare as well the last time. But bottom line is, yeah, it's not over till it's over. But more importantly, what you have now in the Senate, especially, is you have extremes on the left and the right. And in the middle, there's not that group of moderates like me and Ken Conrad, Olympia Snowe, Richard Lugar, others that kind of bridge that gap between those extremes on both sides. So we have some work to do, obviously. I would like there to be some more balance so you can continue on and have that fair and open debate. And that's what we need.
All right.
Great.
It's good to have you in.
Thank you.
Senator Brown, thanks very much.
Thank you.